Welcome back. You're in the C Space Studio with me, James Kotecki, live at CES 2025, a futuristic year, if ever there was one. And we're here with Jim Wilson, president of Madhive. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So Madhive, cool name. Tell us about the brand and what it really means now for 2025.
Madhive stands for local media transformation and growth. I mean, we develop tools and platforms that enable brands to reach local audiences.
So tell us about what that looks like. When we say local media, we're talking mostly about digital media. Like, give me some tangible.
Yeah, so I don't know, back in 2016, I started a business at Tegna called Premion. And Premion was really about the future of streaming television and how local brands and local advertisers were looking to get access to advertising on local. And so in building that brand, we partnered with Madhive as our technology platform, essentially a DSP that enables not only Premion, but a number of other broadcasters and local agencies deliver campaigns via connected television.
Yeah. So when we think about the challenges that a local brand might have before kind of coming in contact with someone like Madhive, what are some of those challenges in terms of I mean, and what kind of brands are we talking about? Like a car dealership, like a local? What we really literally talking about your mom and pop local stores?
It's actually any brand that's looking to get down to a local audience.
I see.
And so it could be, yeah, I mean, when we started it, it really was, the first campaign that we ran was with a local Texas Honda dealer that was looking to deliver campaigns into a couple of zip codes.
Yeah.
And then within 4 months, we had the entire Tier 2 Chevy business. And so, in other words, national brands that are looking to reach audiences at local, you know, really, I'm a huge fan, obviously, of local, because I really believe that all brands should be thinking locally. Like, if you have the ability to reach an audience in a specific geography, which in and of itself has context, and deliver creative into that context to maximize the opportunity. It's really the way I think about it. And so we at Madhive have been building out our CTV DSP platform, and then this past year we bought a company called Frequenz that allows us now to move more omni-channel so that we can really sort of track those, you know, customer buys and really start thinking about more interesting things like customer journeys at local. Because really everything that you think about, you know, down at local is the movement of consumers within their communities.
Yeah, people at a local level obviously think locally even if they're interacting with these national brands.
You know, I spent 4 years in out of home, but between Premion and Madhive, and really out of home, if you think about it, is you are actually delivering a message onto a specific sign in a certain neighborhood with context, reach an audience within a certain amount of content. And we look to do the same thing at Madhive, and that's where we continue to go, and where, you know, AI and other technologies are now allowing us to go further and further in that level of precision. So I think if anybody really needs to know about local, it's complex. And it requires a lot of precision, and that's what we are working on perfecting at Madhive.
I mean, somebody might think about, you know, let's just take the United States, for example, because we're here in the United States right now. US culture as being relatively homogenized, or the complaint being that it gets more and more homogenized, or that kind of national news, you know, dominates even local politics and things like that. But from where you stand, how important or how much power does local still have? Is this kind of an underserved, kind of underlooked component here because people maybe are thinking almost too nationally in their concept of America, for example?
Yeah, I think a little bit differently. I don't think America is homogenous at all. I do. I think if we've learned anything in the last, say, 5 years, is that we are a collection of communities. And, you know, I'll just pick my community in New York is very different than my aunt and uncle's community in Alabama, or you know, communities that I've been to around the country when I travel around and meet with TV stations. You know, there are different communities out there, and I think what we're doing is recognizing that these communities are different, and that the ad message that needs to be delivered into one community versus another should reflect that community. And so that's where we're focused.
So let's talk more about the intersection of shopping and media. How does your technology show up for someone in a local community who's interested in shopping for a certain thing? Tell me about the different touch points and places where they would interact with something that you've touched.
Yeah, so it was, up until this year, it was connected television. So it was, whether you're in your living room or on your device, it is delivering an ad that you are looking to sort of track to some sort of outcome. And with the acquisition of Frequenz, which is more of an omnichannel or multi-channel approach, we now have the ability to plan out our campaigns across media, right? And at the end of the day, what I get really excited about is the various touch points with the consumer that then lead to an outcome, and that outcome is at retail. It could be at a gym, it could be at a restaurant, and so retail media networks are really interesting. Now they've been very focused on themselves, but to the extent that they can come into the overall media mix, we're really going to be tracking these path to purchase or customer journeys, and that's what we look to do. And so partnering with retail media networks is something that we are already doing and working on, and so at the end of the day, it's really then sort of figuring out within that that media mix which forms of media, which media mix is going to lead to the best outcome.
And does that retail media partnership include media that happens in stores themselves?
Yes, absolutely. In stores, yes, or other types of media. There's really interesting companies like gas station television, right, that has screens in tens of thousands of locations in gas stations. So.
You talked about connected TV being a core part of your business. What do you see as the streaming milestones that are coming in 2025? That business is obviously evolving. The advertising mix in that business continues to evolve. What are you seeing for 2025?
Well, I think we're going to continue to see increased advertising tiers, right? Larger audiences. I think we'll continue to see more event content come on. I mean, the NFL on Netflix over the holidays, Beyonce doing a concert. So we're going to see more events, more premiering, obviously, on streaming networks than we have before. So, and then at the same time, I think we're going to continue to see more consolidation in the industry. I think Disney and Fubo is another example of it, and consolidation is really important. And really, at the end of the day, Madhive was created to solve for fragmentation. We have a very fragmented buying base with local, and they want access to tools and technologies and to the content that bigger ads have. And so, and having grown up in a local business that advertised on TV and radio, like the opportunity to be able to place an ad through a Madhive or other ad tech platform into a streaming service is really what we're really looking to democratize all of it.
Tell me about something that you're building today. Does any of it feel like science fiction? Does any of it feel like it's really kind of cutting edge?
I think so. Look, I've spent a whole career in technology and video games and everything like that, and so the ability to reach consumers is always something that I find incredibly interesting. And AI is obviously much talked about, and many people say it's coming, but it's actually here. And so, and we are focused on a product. Again, the evolution of our business and our marketing mix or omnichannel proposal platform, we're building out a product called Maverick. And Maverick is really, just consuming a significant amount of data in terms of campaigns that we have run in the past, and then taking in information into local markets. So, being able to focus on a specific geography, reach an audience, add context, look at what your competitors are doing, and produce, through automation, very smart proposals that not only educate the customer, but we work with thousands of local sellers in our ecosystem. So the ability for that Maverick platform to not only be a proposal platform, but actually a learning platform at the same time, so they continuously educate, because the market is constantly changing, and sellers and advertisers really need to be informed about that.
And will we see a future, and maybe you're building towards this, where, and I think you're kind of hinting at this, like the creative itself is influenced by the data that you have, and are you able to use generative AI to say use a certain kind of language, or refer to this local hotspot, or literally like data about all of these locations that feels very colloquial to those people?
So absolutely, we have a creative team internally that is already doing that, but AI is only going to enhance that.
Yeah.
Having worked in the out-of-home space, having creative content that is tailored to literally a physical sign, being able to tailor creative into local markets through AI is something that we're continuing to develop.
Jim Wilson, Madhive, thanks so much for joining us
here.
here.
Thanks for having me here.
And thank you so much for watching. This is the C Space Studio at CES 2025. I'm James Kotecki. Don't go anywhere because more conversations are just ahead.